So I find your remark and your question insulting.
It's not my question. It's somebody that
Does that fucking feel fake, huh? Does that feel fake?
Hey.
Does it?
Oh, no, just...
Why don't you come down tonight, and before I kick his ass, I'll kick your ass.
Okay.
All right?
Just calm down.
Hey, we're not here to be insulted. I'm not here to be insulted.
Amplified Q&A, my favorite video of the week, where I get to interact with you guys, the Amplified unit, and I get to take a lot of your questions and see where your guys' heads are at, what's on your guys' minds, what you guys want to talk about, and I get to give you guys my thoughts, opinions, maybe news that I have that will answer your questions that you have. Just everything, man. It's my favorite video of the week, but unfortunately, we have to start this video off a little bit on a more somber note, and that's because Big Van Vader, a guy who, since I was a little kid, I not only respected, but especially when I was a little kid, I feared this motherfucker. Big Van Vader passed away on June 18th at 63 years of age. We didn't really find out until yesterday, the fans and such, that he had passed. That was really devastating news, man, because nobody protected this business than guys like Big Van Vader. The integrity of the business. Big Van Vader, you always felt the integrity of the business was safe in his hands, and he would do justice to and for this business. Because we don't see that anymore. It's one thing to have kayfabe gone, but to see not just fans, but pro wrestlers just freely just call out how wrestling is just fake and it's a phony world, right, CM Punk? And the Vince Russos and the Rybacks, now that they're bitter as fuck, they go on their little podcasts and they talk about how wrestling is just fake because they know their own fucking careers went into the toilet. So why not bash not just the company that made you, but the fucking sport? But if you said those type of things in front of Big Van Vader back in the day when Vader was in his prime, when Vader was in the business, you were to get smacked upside your fucking dome piece. He would have smacked the taste out of your mouth. A CM Punk, the fucking Ryback, and a Vince Russo, and every other bitter motherfucker together could not light a candle to Big Van Vader. One of the best, if not the best, big men in the business. He could do a moonsault with his size and stature from the top rope better than some light heavyweights. When he was delivering blows in that ring, you felt like every single one of them were fucking as real as can be. Trust me on that. And some of them were. He could be stiff in that ring. He brought that real big fight feeling to every match he participated in. And he made his opponents look that much fucking better, stronger, bigger, badder. That was Big Van Vader, man. And to hear that he had passed when he, at 63 years old, with congestive heart fucking failure, is what he was diagnosed with, right? Back in 2017, I believe. I think he said the doc said he gave him 2 years to live. And here he is trying to make a comeback at 63 because this business is in his fucking blood. You gotta respect that. Going out the way he wanted to. Going out the only way he knew how, which is on his terms. He just came off of surgery, what, in May? And he was talking about and telling people how he thinks he's got another fucking run. That's Vader, man. Going out on his terms, not listening to everyone fucking else, and protecting this business every step along the way. And I always remember that interview he did. What was it? In Kuwait, I believe? And they were on tour, and he and The Undertaker were doing an interview. And there's all these mixed stories. Vader has come out on a couple of interviews since then and said that the producers told him that the is wrestling fake question is coming. Get a little pissed off, raise a little bit of a scene. But Vader got extra pissed off. Vader flips the table, grabs the interviewer, and he pulls him close and says, "Does this feel fucking fake to you, huh? Does this feel fucking fake to you? Come down tonight and I'll kick your ass like I'm gonna do to everybody else tonight. Along those lines. Vader had this guy by his fucking tie and neck. And in Kuwait, it was really big, especially back then, swearing, especially on TV, national TV. And Vader saying, does this feel fucking fake to you? I'll kick your ass like everyone else. That was huge. That's protecting the business. The producers, Vader even admitted, said just raise a little bit of a scene. Vader fucking said that he didn't like the way that the interviewer was conversating with him. Vader got extra passionate on this subject. I love that. So much that he did swear. He did get extra physical. And because of that, he got arrested. He was in a jail over there for 2 fucking weeks. Because he couldn't just raise a little bit of it. He couldn't just let it go. That's not Vader. Undertaker was asked that question before Vader, and he gave what Vader called a diplomatic answer. So Vader said, I want to answer that same question. The interviewer was going to ask him something different. And instead, the interviewer said, all right, go ahead. And Vader said, my esteemed colleague might be diplomatic, but I'm not so diplomatic. And he goes, I find that question to be rather offensive. And he flips the table and he grabs this interviewer by the fucking throat. I love that shit, man. That's old school. You guys know I love old school on this channel. And to have people protect the business. This was in 1997. They should be protecting the business the same way here in 2018 and beyond. I don't give a fuck if kayfabe is almost dead, if not already dead. Fuck kayfabe. You still should protect the integrity of the business. Why certain individuals feel the need to keep calling out words like it's phony and CM Punk, that phony business, the phony world, and the Rybacks and the Vince Russos, constantly having to remind people that it's fake. When I've seen motherfuckers die in that ring, get paralyzed in that ring, get brutally fucking beaten within an inch of their life in those rings. And they feel the need to say everything's fucking... I can deal with choreographed, planned, even rehearsed. Fake? When you know what has gone down in those rings over the years to human fucking beings in their bodies, there's a special breed, and unfortunately it's the old school, that protects the integrity of that business, and they know what this business was. Just because some things have changed, kayfabe has fucking gone away. Vince McMahon and WWE especially have fucking pretty much honed everything down to as scripted as can be in promos and maybe even in the wrestling itself. You still protect the integrity of the business. How fucking dare you say fake over and over again? It's one thing for the fans to do it, right? Because maybe it's the cool thing. Maybe some fans think it's cool to go online and see passionate wrestling fans go, wow, you take it too seriously. You do know it's fake, right? Saying other people take it seriously, but after the event or the pay-per-view is over, they're the ones typing in pro wrestling shit online. They're the one typing in Beastly Amplified and such online. They won't subscribe or anything because they think they're too cool, but they're the ones every morning with their bowl of cereal and their fucking coffee or their fucking orange juice typing in BC Amplified because they gotta hear what BC's gonna say about whatever just happened the night before. But we're the ones that take it too seriously. You're too cool, but you're typing my shit in. It's one thing for fans that think they're cool and just go along with the Russos and the right. Yeah, it's fake, man. Why is everyone so just sit back and watch it for what it is, a TV show? It's one thing for that, right? I'm not even gonna fucking acknowledge that too much. But for the wrestlers, the bitter motherfuckers to turn around and piss on the business that made their name, for them, the fucking Russos, the Rybacks, the CM Punks to call it phony and fake, time after fucking time. It ain't just one time for these fuckers. Time and time again. Yet what do? They continue to make their fucking name off of pro wrestling. CM Punk continues to use that name CM Punk over in fucking UFC. Catapult himself without even having one fight into the main card twice, even though he looked like an absolute bitch both times. But that name, that WWE fucking put him on the highest pedestal, got him those 2 UFC main card fights and all that fucking money that went with it. But he's living his dream, BC. Fuck that shit. If WWE didn't give him the time of day, you think CM Punk would be in UFC on that main card collecting all that fucking cash? He'll piss on the business and call it that phony world, but that phony world is what put him on top of the fucking UFC card. Or in that UFC main card. The Vince Russos and the Rybacks will piss on the fucking business and call it fake time and time again, but they're making their money on a podcast talking about pro wrestling. Trying to be cooler than the fans. You guys are taking it so seriously. Sit back and just watch it. It's fake, you know. But I'll make a fucking dime off of every one of your fucking clicks. That's what I mean when I say most of today's superstars are fucking coward-ass bitch pussies. When Vader and guys like that, the Stan Hansens of this fucking world, the old school motherfuckers, those are the ones that protect the business. They've seen the beatings their friends have gotten in the realism in this sport. Because it is still one of the most fucking athletic forms in sports that anybody will ever fucking come across my fucking TV. You could put anything across my TV and I put pro wrestling up there with any of them. Pre-planned, rehearsed, scripted. You know, we can use that around. That's fucking fine, man. But when these superstars of today know how sensitive a lot of those superstars are from old school, and even the fans that are old school, when they know how sensitive people are to that one word, why would you feel the need to keep fucking saying it? Just to be a fucking dipshit? Just to be a fucking clown that's trying to push buttons? Well, keep pushing, motherfucker, because when I see you, wham! It won't be an internet bitch slap. I'm gonna grab you by the fucking throat and squeeze within an inch of your fucking life. And if you're fucking lucky, and I'm having a really good day, I may let you survive. And Vader was that motherfucker. You come across him with that word, he may let you survive, but you're gonna feel the effects of saying that in front of him. You do not disrespect old school talent like that. Even at 63 years old, Vader was and would still today, if he was still here, be protecting the business, just like so many other wrestlers that I can name from the past, and still some today, and that's what's really cool. You'll never hear a lot of wrestlers today ever utter that word fake. It's a sensitive word. And if you're serious about this business, and you're not a little bitch-ass motherfucking punk, then you know you don't fucking use that shit. You're not cool. You're not better than everyone else just because you're going around calling pro wrestling fake. That was Big Van fucking Vader. Integrity of this business on this channel is always going to be at the highest fucking level. I promise you guys. I promised you guys this when I started this channel. What was it, a year and a half ago? Whatever the fuck it was. I promise you today, and I promise you going into the fucking future. And when I'm done making movies and in other forms of the entertainment industry that I want to pursue, and I do take up my goal, my dream, my aspiration of working for WWE Creative one day, if that is where my journey takes me and I end up working for WWE Creative one day, I assure you, I will keep the integrity of this business top priority. I promise you guys that when I started this, right now and forever. Integrity of the business, old school. I don't care if kayfabe is all fucking but dead. The integrity of the business will never die. Because people like me will carry on Big Van Vader's legacy. And making sure that it is fucking protected. And that the CM Punks and the Rybacks and the Russos and all the other bitches that like to throw around fake that those motherfuckers don't outshine this business. Don't try to one-up the business. Big Van Vader, one of the best big men, one of the most fucking honorable big men. And forget big men, one of the most honorable men that this business has ever seen. I remember when I was a fucking kid, coming up fucking seeing Big Van Vader. This was the WCW days, and I'm talking before Nitro, guys. This was early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. The Starrcade 92s and shit like that, where Big Van Vader and Sting were taking on each other. Back then, Sting was like the Ultimate Warrior of WCW. Ric Flair was kind of like the Hulk Hogan. Sting was like the Ultimate Warrior. Which is funny, because Sting and Warrior were a tag team back in the day known as the Blade Runners. And then they went separate ways. Warrior gained huge success in WWE, obviously, and so did Sting. But a great fucking hero needs a great villain to play off of. Sting's great villain was Big Van Vader. And as a kid, I feared this motherfucker. He would come out in some huge fucking demonic helmet. Big, huge horns. This guy, if you were a young kid, you were fucking running as far away from that TV as you could, hiding behind a couch, peeking out, like, is he fucking taking the mask off? But when he took that fucking helmet mask off, he had that leather mask on too. He still looked like a scary motherfucker. Till this day, I still say Vader was one of, if not the scariest motherfucker, professional wrestling-wise, that pro wrestling has ever seen. Up there with The Undertaker. The character. But then you get to his skills for his size and stature, doing moonsaults and his Vader bombs. This motherfucker loved to hit the ropes and get on that shit and fly. He took more risks and chances in that ring than half of the fucking 200-pound motherfuckers that we see today. Vader, one of the best in this fucking business. And one of the ones I looked up to the most since I was a little fucking kid, man. And that brings me, you think this fucking rant is over? No, that brings me to WWE's Hall of Fame. This motherfucker last year announced that the docs gave him maybe 2 years to live and said that he had congestive heart failure. Vince couldn't have fucking said shit. One of the best big men in this business. And by the way, even the WCW days, which made Vader Vader, legacy alone from those days should put him in the WWE Hall of Fame. But no, those mid-90s, he actually came to the WWE, and he was a big part of those mid-90s. In there with Bret the Hitman Hart, the British Bulldog, teaming up with fucking Owen, under the tutelage of Jim Cornette. In there with Yokozuna. Big Van Vader was a big part, then known as just Vader. A big part of those mid-90s in WWF at the time. So his WCW days mixed with his WWF days, you're damn right he should be in the Hall of Fame long ago. 63 years old. Docs are telling him he doesn't have much longer, and you couldn't put him in this year's Hall of Fame. Kid fucking Rock! Kid Rock goes in! But not Vader! Until it's too fucking late. And he fucking dies. And then what, Vince? You're gonna put him in the 2019 when he's not here? To see it all come to fruition? Because you did it with Randy Savage. He should have been on that stage accepting that shit. China should have been on that stage accepting that shit. You put Ivory in there and Molly fucking Holly. But you won't put China. You won't work out a deal that would put Owen Hart in there. Martha Hart, whatever his fucking wife's name was, yeah, she's being real fucking strict on what WWE can do, and there's holds, and there's this and that. But if you want to work out a deal to put him in the Hall of Fame, it can be done like that. You just don't give a shit because you know that'll bring up a lot of fucking bad publicity. Owen Hart's going in the Hall of Fame. Yes, the one who fell at a WWE event in a tragedy. Under WWE's eye. China won't be able to go in because she did some fucking porn, because she tried to make a living, because you guys shunned her. So you're too good for how other people make a living. If it's not up to your standards, you're too good for the industry that others choose as a means to make money. Chyna's going into the WWE Hall of Fame. Uh-oh, people might find out she was doing fucking porno videos. I could come up with a list of Hall of Famers you have in there now that did 10 times worse than that. So many deserving names get to see their moment, should be seeing their moment on that stage. And you just pick and choose who you want, and those that deserve it, you're just like, nah. Congestive heart failure, yeah, he's one of the fucking top names in the business ever. But fuck it. Maybe one day. And if he's not here to see it, we'll still put him in. We'll have his kid maybe accept the award. But let's put Kid Rock in. That makes sense! Vader should have been in that Hall of Fame. Vader should have been in that Hall of Fame years ago. But especially when you find out what he has, and you sit back and you go, what class are we going to put into that? Oh, well, Vader clearly is at the fucking top. But no, Vader's not even at the top. Vader's what, 3 or 4th on your list? No, we come to find out he's not even 3 or 4. Okay, he's at the bottom of the list, right? 7, 8? No, he's not even on it. The fucking Dudley Boys, which just retired last year, we'll put them on it! So Vader is gone, and he never even got a Hall of Fame fucking on at 63 years old. How the fuck does that even happen? You call yourself a legit Hall of Fame, and Chyna's not there, but you have fucking the Ivories. Is Molly Holly even in it? Or did Molly Holly fucking announce somebody? Or Molly Holly, if she's not in it, she's going to be in it, like probably next year, right? But I think she already is. Either way, all of these fucking women, I think Jacqueline's even in it. All of these women before Chyna, because she made money in a way you didn't fucking like. Your company image means more than the fucking human being. Nobody makes mistakes in WWE's world. You can't make a fucking mistake. No, if you do, if it's corporate, if it's gonna tarnish that image, how about doing the right thing and putting the rightful people where they rightfully belong because of what they did, their body of work in your business, under your company? What about that shit? I don't apologize for going on a 10 or 15 minute rant or however this is. No. I don't apologize. Big Van Vader deserves every fucking minute that I'm speaking about him. Because there's a bigger issue at large. You call yourself a legit Hall of Fame. When you sit back and you make the list, you really think about who should be going in. Think about the human being first. There's no fucking way, the last 5 years especially, Vader should have been on your list. Rest easy, big man. Rest easy. It'll always be Vader time. And I speak for all of the Amplified unit when I say thank you for the memories, thank you for the matches, thank you for the moments, thank you for your time. Thank you for Vader time. Because you will never be forgotten. You never were, you never will be forgotten. Always, you will be one of the top superstars ever in this profession. In multiple companies. Your character was larger than life inside of pro wrestling and outside of pro wrestling. And let's be honest. Who didn't love his appearances on Boy Meets World? Topanga! There'll never be anybody like you, big man. Thank you very much. 63 years old, 1955 to 2018. Leon White, Big Van Vader. No longer with us, but in a way, always with us. Thank you again, big guy. Now let's start Amplified Q&A.
Of the WCW, because we all know Vader, he fears no man, and he feels no pain. Yeah.
He is the World Heavyweight Champion, Big Van Vader.
I actually get into Q&A too, guys. One more quick Vader story. There was a time in a match, this is a true story, he had his eyeball come out of its socket. He actually pushed that motherfucker back into the socket and wrestled another 12 minutes. These are just some of the stories that if you jump into Big Van Vader's career, these are some of the stories that you'll find, man. That's how tough and badass this guy was. But on to Q&A. I'm going to I couldn't obviously answer all of them, guys. I am going to at least try to get to like 15 or 20 of these motherfuckers. But I can't get to all of them. There's just so many. But I appreciate it. And this is where I get to like interact with you guys. So I really do appreciate it. I'm going to get to as many as I can right now. We're going to start off, I believe this is on Twitter, with Glenn. BC, much love and respect. Who would you book to win a triple threat match between Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, and Shawn Michaels in their prime, and how would you book it? That's an intriguing question for me because you guys know I want to see any form of those, two of those three superstars against each other. Shawn Michaels versus AJ Styles, or Shawn Michaels versus Daniel Bryan. AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan. But if you're putting him in a triple threat match, I don't even need to put them in their prime. Because we all know Shawn Michaels has one more great one more big one left in him. With a couple of months prior training, this guy would come back looking like he never missed a step. So I would do this at WrestleMania 35 if it's going to be done. It doesn't have to be in their prime. They would all go out there and steal that motherfucking show, and there's only one match I would put them in, and that is a 60-minute Iron Man match. The same match I want to see with Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. Let's add Shawn Michaels in there and have, I believe, what would be the first ever triple threat Iron Man match. How badass would that be? How would I book it, Glenn? Simply put, each superstar would have one pinfall apiece, or submission, so each one of them has one marked in their column. I don't care who pins who or submits who during the 60 minutes. But everyone has one victory, so it's 1-1-1 across the boards. The end of this match, I want Shawn Michaels flat on his back. The guy gave everything he had. He just came back after multi-years of being off. He's gassed out. He just got flatlined by one of the two, maybe both of them. Shawn Michaels is down and out. Somehow Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles are rolling around the ring. AJ Styles is trying to get, Daniel Bryan's trying to get AJ Styles into the yes lock. Or some submission move. Daniel Bryan's got fucking hundreds that he could choose from. But somehow they roll on top of Shawn Michaels. And AJ Styles is on top of Michaels. But Daniel Bryan has either the yes locks or some submission on AJ Styles. But the referee is counting because Styles is technically on Shawn Michaels. 1, 2, 3. But as he counts 3, he also notices AJ Styles is actually tapping out. AJ fucking Styles tapping out. Who would have ever thought they would see that? But the lock is on, fucking so tight, so secure, so badass. AJ Styles, one of the best wrestlers in this world, just tapped out to Daniel Bryan. But we have a situation on our hands because AJ Styles at the same time was pinning Shawn Michaels. As time ran out, 60 minutes have now been expired, but there's a problem. They were all tied 1-1, but Styles just had the pinfall over Michaels, but at the same time, Daniel Bryan tapped out AJ Styles. Who the fuck is the final winner here, then? This leads either a Paige or a Kurt Angle, or as I always said, the new Jack Tunney of WWE, the new president, Hulk Hogan. Somebody of authority comes out and they declare that Shawn Michaels, one way or the other, he's been eliminated. He was flat on his back. He has to go. 60 minutes have expired. Shawn Michaels has officially lost the match. But because there was really technically 2 winners at the end of this, each picked up the pinfall, or the pinfall was AJ Styles and a submission by Daniel Bryan, that those two, Styles and Bryan, will go on to an extra 5 minutes of sudden death. The crowd would erupt. We win an hour. We could not come to the conclusion of a victor. So now we have to go 5 minutes of sudden death. And before the bell rings for the extra 5 minutes, everybody pays homage and respect to Shawn Michaels. This is the best way for Shawn Michaels to get the accolades and the adulation and the cheers from the fans that he deserves. The thank you from the fans. Because he gets to solely walk up that ramp and have his final walk up that rampway. Because he's been eliminated. There wasn't an elimination match to begin with. But the match ended the 60 minutes in such crazy fashion that that's the determination that the authority came up with. Whoever the authority is, a Paige, a Kurt Angle, a Hulk Hogan, a Vince McMahon comes out. But Shawn Michaels did not have a victory of any sort at the end of this, so he has to go. But the crowd would be going nuts for him. As he goes up the ramp, the cheers, the adulation pouring out, people would be fucking crying. And he stops at the rampway and he gives one last fucking wave, man. Like, I gave it all I had. I went to 60 minutes. I almost pulled off this motherfucker. And he takes off. And now we're left there with two of the best wrestlers in the world still in a sudden death 5 minutes. Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles. And when it's all said and done, don't worry about who I would have win. I know who I would have win. I ain't going to say it now, man. Maybe we're going to actually get this at WrestleMania 35. Who would you guys have win, man? Styles or Bryan in that situation? I'm going to hold mine off because I might have to seriously amplify book Bryan and Styles in real life at WrestleMania 35. And if that's the case, I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag now. But that's how I would set up the finish. 65 minutes. And only one winner when it's all said and done. And I would have it for the strap, obviously. So, but we'll wait, man. Maybe one day I actually get the book, Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles, and it's going to be damn fun when I get to. But that's how I would book that, Glenn. I'm just not going to tell you the exact finish. Goosebumps, man. There's so much I could do with those three superstars. Thanks again, Glenn, for that awesome question. Evolving Gamer, I believe this is also on Twitter. Hey, BC, I would like your opinion on Karma's gimmick and presence in WWE. And do you think Nia Jax should have been booked scary and dominating like Karma was during her short time in WWE? By the way, love your videos. Thank you, Evolving Gamer. I absolutely believe Nia Jax should have been built up like a Karma-type character. Now, Karma in WWE, that was so short that I think we all forgot about Karma. Or don't even remember Karma's booking. We don't remember Karma in WWE. That's how short it was. Just a couple of months at best. But the Karma in like TNA and just that Karma image in her presence and how badass she was, absolutely. Nia Jax should have been that and even more. That's how you book Nia Jax. Nia Jax should have been the beast that is undefeated. We talk about Asuka's undefeated streak. Nia Jax should have been undefeated. There are certain superstars that just scream they have to drive through everybody on the roster. Because it's going to be that much more epic when they finally do have that one showdown with the ultimate hero, and the ultimate payoff is that ultimate villain, that dastardly heel, the really bad guy / gal, they finally lose. It's an ultimate payoff, man. And it's how you build an ultimate villain. Nia Jax was booked, not even 50-50 booking. Nia Jax was booked like a clown from day one. And that's why nobody believed her as champion. We wanted to get behind that. They started for a little bit to book her like that. They gave her jobber matches. That's what you have to do. But then they would 50-50 book her and then 30-70 book her. Then she would have fucking multi-losing streaks. That is not what you do with Nia Jax. Certain people in the business have to run through the roster. They just have to. You could sit back and say people are getting buried and it's not right. You could sit back and say they're not deserving. You could sit back and not like them. You could hate them. But certain people need to run through the roster because it's who they are. Character in real life. Brock Lesnar, for instance. He's somebody that would run through in real life the roster. So obviously on TV, you would have him run through them. Now, yes, I would like him to show up more, but I absolutely believe he's the person to be deserving of a 500-day title reign. I just think he should defend it more, show up more. Absolutely. But he's believable as a person who would be a 500-day champion. He's already at 400 and something already, going toward 450, over 450. But I believe that. Ronda Rousey, if she beats everyone in her path, I believe that. It's believable because in real life, she was beating the shit out of human beings in seconds. Nia Jax has built her presence alone to be that dominating figure. She doesn't have to be the best wrestler. Some people just don't have to be that. Their presence screams larger than life. They booked her like a clown. It's not how you book her. So yeah, absolutely. Like Karma and even beyond, Evolving Gamer. Hopefully that answers that. Ashley, I think over on Twitter as well. Where's Cheesehead Charlie? Hope you're having an amazing day. I really missed you. Well, I'm back, Ashley. I missed you and I missed all my amp unit. Thank you. My day's going fucking awesome because I get to talk pro wrestling with you guys. So I'm kicking ass. And we got a big night planned tonight as well. So, yeah, all is good, Ashley. Thank you. As far as where's Cheesehead Charlie, who the fuck knows? We're trying to get taps on him, though. If you guys follow my Instagram, you know that I just posted up a pic of King Amplified. All hail the King! King Amplified, right? He sent me a fucking... He's down south, down in Florida. He sent me a pic. I decided to send that out to you guys on Instagram. So you guys got to see King Amplified. Hopefully I get to do the same with Cheesehead Charlie. We're going to try to get taps on him. Last I heard, he was still stuck in a fucking bathroom somewhere, but maybe he's out, hopefully, right? But we will try to get taps on him and maybe even 2.0. But he is still kicking from what I'm hearing. Candace, what do you think about the people who say that Vince McMahon has a fetish for blonde women? For example, Alexa achieved so much in just 2 years. Charlotte, well, she's a Flair, and Carmella beats fucking Asuka? I mean, if that's the case, Sasha should just wear a blonde wig. I totally agree, Candace, at that point. Although, I love Sasha just the way she is. She don't need no fucking blonde wig. But yes, I absolutely believe, I don't know if it's a fetish, but Vince McMahon definitely gives privilege to the blonde women. He always has, man. I remember Alundra Blaze back when I was younger. That transition to Trish Stratus. That transition to the fucking Charlottes and the Alexa Blisses and the Carmellas. I mean, when you have people on the roster like a fucking Sasha Banks and you're giving it all the time to Alexa Bliss 5 times, 2 years, and we like Alexa Bliss, right? Some of us love Alexa Bliss, but Alexa Bliss has half the talent of Sasha Banks. Every one of us can admit that. Doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist to see that. You could be the stupidest person on earth and see that Sasha Banks is twice as good as fucking Alexa. But Vince sees more merchandise than Alexa, evidently. Vince sees the blonde bombshell as the ones he wants to hold the championship. He'll throw them to Naomi and Nia Jax here and there for a few months. You know, appease or set up something bigger for his blondes, but it always comes back to his blondes. I don't fucking understand it. I hate it. But, again, I don't know if it's a fetish, Candace, but it's definitely something where he likes to have his strap holders on the main roster be these blonde bombshells. Go figure. And in the process, people like Sasha Banks held down into what he hopes to be obscurity, but she's so fucking good, she refuses to go into obscurity. That's our fucking legit boss for you, man. Stubborn as fuck. She will not be pushed into obscurity, no matter how many blondes Vince McMahon gives those championships to. Martin, hi BC, much love and respect. My question is, why are the crowds at WWE events not invested into Roman Reigns? Really, would like to know why. Martin, we've had this discussion before because I know you've asked me this before and I've answered this. And I'll tell you again, Martin, much love and respect back to you, by the way. But as respectful as I can be, I'm going to be truthful with you. Think about it this way. If you get a new boss at work and this boss just stays in his office, he never once comes down to meet you or shake your hand. A week goes by, he still never comes down. 2 weeks go by. He's making all these orders and demands. He's changing shit. He's changing your hours. He decreased your pay. He's doing all this bullshit. And he never even came down to shake your hand. A month goes by. 2 months go by. 3 months go by. This boss never even comes downstairs to shake your hand. He's always trapped in his office making his bigwig decisions. Are you going to respect him? No. You're all going to not fucking stand him, I bet. Nothing about him you're going to like, him or her, whoever this boss is. Because you need to see the other side of him or her, right? You need to see the other side, the character, whether it's a softer side, a more approachable side, a more humanistic side. You need to meet them and see who they really are. Because if you only see that one side and you're being forced to respect them and forced to like them, when they haven't gone out of their way to show you who they really are, nobody's going to respect you. They're actually going to loathe you. They're going to hate you. They're not going to like you, at least. So you switched that over to Roman Reigns. Now, obviously, totally different, but not so much, because Roman Reigns showed us this one side, and Vince is saying, that's what you're going to fucking deal with. That's your superhero for the next decade. Deal with it and like it. And we're saying, nah, we see potential, but we need to see the other side of him. We need to meet the other Roman. You have to show us that heel side. Same thing we did with The Rock. We saw the potential. Vince tried to shove it down his throat a little bit as Rocky Maivia, but we said absolutely not. We see the potential, but we need to meet the real Rocky. Who is the real? We need to see him as a heel. In this profession, we needed to see the other side. That's the only way we could show him our true adulation and respect. And begin to like this guy. We need to see the other side. He's one of those rare characters that we do see the potential in, but we need to see all of who he is. And Vince refuses to show us that. Instead, year after year, it's like years of your boss not coming down to shake your hand, ever. But he's making all the shots, calling all the shots. Roman Reigns refuses, or Vince McMahon refuses to show us the other side of Roman, and the fan base is just saying that's all we need to see. We just need to see Roman heel and live that up. Really see his full potential, because his full potential, somebody like Roman, will never be tapped unless he turns heel. That's the truth. Just like Rocky. But you go and you see, just like Stone Cold Steve Austin, he was fucking amazing as that face, and then he turns heel, and he hits another whole fucking octane. He starts doing the what? And he starts the fucking whole what movement, and he taps into this paranoid heel. And that captivated a whole new audience. And Stone Cold soared a whole nother new level. When you tap these larger-than-life individuals, because Roman could be, when you tap them into that heel persona in this business, you have to do that. And that's how we really get to see who they are and what they can do. Vince refuses to do that. So just like never meeting your boss who's calling the shots, who's decreasing your pay, who's giving you all this bullshit work to do, just like that, we're never getting to see the other side of Roman. So we can't fully respect him. That's the truth, Martin. So when he shows up in front of live crowds, we're not just all going to be the fucking sheep that go, yeah, WWE superstar Roman Reigns. Vince really wants him to be our fucking savior and our hero. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to keep sending the message that we need to see this guy as a fucking heel. He needs it. Roman, as a performer, as a character, as a human being, he needs to professionally turn heel. To save his own career, he needs to do that. Because Vince is ruining it, and he's ruining the product because he's too stubborn to do that. Hopefully that helps you, Martin. And that leads into my next question with Just King. Just King asks, also on Twitter, what's the worst WrestleMania main event in your opinion? Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar. Because how could the people at home be invested in loving that shit if the crowd is playing with a beach ball and yelling beat the traffic and trying to get the fuck out of there and booing the entire main event? There's no reason Roman Reigns should have been in that main event when the fucking crowd, especially a WrestleMania crowd, you know it's going to be a smart crowd, is going to boo the fuck out of that and not want to see it at all. And Vince was so stubborn, he gave it to us anyway. Even worse than WrestleMania 31, in my opinion. So, if you're putting a main event in there that the majority of your fan base don't want to see, of course that's the worst main event ever in Mania history. Absolute bullshit. And we might be getting it again in Brooklyn for the second biggest pay-per-view of the year, SummerSlam. We'll have to wait fucking bide our time for that. How fucking much fun that'll be. Mitch! Always a time for a Mitch question, man. I know you're a big supporter of the channel. Thank you. Yo, BC, do you miss the old Rhino? The Rhino from the ECW days. You're damn right I do. Rhino is this presence, man. Rhino could be a champion. I'm not saying he doesn't have to be world champion, heavyweight. You could be fucking IC champion any given day. Or US champion. Over on SmackDown. But, you know, they booked him into this just enhancement role. This jobber role, basically. And that does suck, because Rhino was a presence, Rhino was a force, and Rhino can go in that ring. There's no difference, guys, from Rusev going for the championship at Extreme Rules against AJ Styles, or Rhino going for the championship against AJ Styles. There's no difference. None of you can tell me Rusev is a better wrestler than Rhino. You can't. Any one of us would fucking... If Rhino was in the position of Rusev right now, it would be the same thing. So that goes to show you that Rhino can be a main eventer, or could have been if he was booked properly from the beginning, but he's just enhancement talent, and it looks like he's okay with that. You know, he's there to collect the paycheck. Nothing wrong with that, like Heath Slater, man, because I don't see that changing, but I do miss the old school Rhino. Quincy, hey BC, Ring of Honor just booked Madison Square Garden, and it will premiere next year, and most likely a joint venture between ROH and All In. Do you think now independent wrestling might be a threat to WWE in the near future? Bad news, Quincy. As fast as that was announced, Ring of Honor going to Madison Square Garden WrestleMania weekend next year, as fast as that was announced, it was taken down. Madison Square Garden got back in contact with ROH, and they nullified that whole deal. They said they're taking that deal back. They will not do business with ROH, and they told ROH the reason is because they had a conversation with WWE and Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon does not want ROH booking Madison Square Garden. So we don't know if they have the right to block, because that is often the case. A lot of contracts that people do with arenas, they'll have a right to actually block another competitor from coming in. So Vince might have that, but ROH said something about litigation. So ROH is talking about maybe getting litigation. That leads me to believe that maybe Vince McMahon did not have the right to block them, but Madison Square Garden doesn't want to lose Vince McMahon and WWE's business. So after their conversation, McMahon and WWE wanted Madison Square Garden to pull out of the deal, and maybe legally that's not the right thing that they can do or should do. So we got to see if ROH takes litigation. But this could be another lawsuit here. ROH, Madison Square Garden, WWE, all in this motherfucker. Because you know WWE is going to side with MSG because they put MSG in this position. But McMahon does not want ROH booking Madison Square Garden. And at first we just thought it was because it was WrestleMania season. But no. When ROH said, okay, well, which date can we get to book? MSG said, we do not want to do business with you. So, sorry, Quincy. That is no more. Vince McMahon made sure that ROH is out of Madison Square Garden. And they told Madison Square Garden, do not let them in. So that's huge news. James, hi BC. Such a big fan of yours. Keep up the good work. Thank you, James. My question is, now that Daniel Bryan can wrestle again, what would your dream match be for him down the road? I think I answered this a lot, James. I'll do it again because I'll answer it 100 million more times, man. Because I get goosebumps thinking about it. Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles in a 60-minute Iron Man match. Give me that. And fuck, man. I'm probably the happiest pro wrestling fan alive at that point. Number 10 over here, man. We got, where is this on? Twitter, I want to say. But no, this could possibly be YouTube, so I apologize. The SF Jammer. What if Shane McMahon returns as D-Bry's partner and fights the Bludgeon Brothers? Because the Bludgeon Brothers just took out D-Bry. Maybe at Extreme Rules they're doing a little tag team match. Who would be Daniel Bryan's partner? I said in my last video, right? Is Kane going to come back? And it's the hug, what was it? The hug connection? Some shit, man. I forgot what they were, but they were always hugging it out. You know, it's summertime. Nicholas is out of school. Is WWE going to bring back fucking Nicholas for Daniel Bryan's partner? So who the fuck knows? But I think, as far as Daniel Bryan's partner, Shane McMahon is your question. What about that, right? SF Jammer? I think that is fucking brilliant. Because it's Extreme Rules. You give them a fucking gimmick and you watch Shane McMahon fly like he loves to do, the stuntman in him. And he can also wrestle too. I'm not just calling him a stuntman, trust me. Shane McMahon is one of the best performers in that ring that captivate me. For sure, man. Shane McMahon can do every which thing, man. We've seen him tussle and roll around in his ground game. We've seen him fly around in the aerial assault. We've seen him take those risks, those chances. I think Extreme Rules would be fucking perfect. Bludgeon Brothers versus Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan as just fucking, what do you call it, guys? I'm drawing a fucking blank. I almost said impromptu. That wouldn't be impromptu. That would be heavily publicized and marketed. I'll stay here all fucking hour until I think of this. What is the match that is not a fucking marquee match, man? Exhibition! Thank you, guys. You guys know by now if you're on this channel. I will sit here in silence until I think about what we talk about Vince being... I'm stubborn, motherfucker. If I can't think of something and I know it's at the tip of my fucking brain, man, I'll sit here in silence for 10 fucking minutes. Exhibition match, because that's all it would be, right? We'll have championships on the line for the men, the women, the main event we'll have. But Bludgeon Brothers versus Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan, that is a kick-ass exhibition match. Take my fucking money. What else here? What the fuck? Fuck. I want to say this is Juan, I believe, man. I might have gotten some names mixed up here. I'm sorry if this is not Juan and this is somebody else's question, but I think this was Juan. Hey BC, been with you from the very beginning, and I must say you're the man. For Q&A, was wondering why you decided to not make your videos in black and white since you returned, and what do you think will happen between Ronda and Alexa when Ronda returns? Much love and respect from Quebec. What I'll say, and by the way, that was not Juan, because Juan's question is coming up a little later, so I really apologize. I got some names mixed up. So whoever's question that was, I apologize, but I am answering it, all right? As far as my videos no longer being in black and white, I just felt like, you know, I took 6 or 7 weeks off from the channel. When I came back, I just wanted to be fucking, you know, it's summertime. I want to be fucking vibrant. I want to be in your face. I felt we're just going to go in straight color. I might bring it back for the fall and winter. We'll see. Go old school, which I love on this channel. You know, the black and white was to pay homage to the old school. And I took many weeks off, almost a couple months. And I just said, you know what? Let's just come back and live in color and just kick the shit out of YouTube. So that's what we're doing right now. At any given moment or any given video, we could go back to black and white. Absolutely. As far as, since you return, what do you think will happen between Ronda and Alexa when Ronda returns? Ronda's going to beat the shit out of Alexa. That's what I think is going to happen. But I really feel that Sasha should take the strap of Alexa because there's still unfinished business between Sasha and Alexa. Sasha got a victory over Alexa. Alexa kept her title, though. Sasha never had another fucking opportunity. So, Ronda, I'm fine with getting the championship maybe next year at Mania. Let's let Sasha get that run through Survivor Series or maybe even Royal Rumble, and then she can drop it. If you're not going to have Sasha at next year's WrestleMania in one of those big women's matches, then have her at least get the fucking championship now and hold that shit the better part of the year. If you're going to give Ronda all those accolades. But Ronda picking it up soon against Alexa, she's obviously going to kick her ass and take that strap. And then she's holding that title to WrestleMania. Does Sasha Banks take it off Ronda Rousey next year? Who the fuck knows, man? But that's what's going to happen. Ronda Rousey's coming back to kick the shit out of Alexa Bliss. No way around that. Hub City, hey BC, hope this makes amplified Q&A. Did you watch the WWE 24 documentary on the Hardy Boys? It was great, and you should do live videos in the future. Well, I'll think about the live videos in the future, but as far as did I watch the documentary on the Hardy Boys, come on, Hub City! You watch enough of me to know, man. You gotta watch all of my videos. You can't just watch a few minutes or 10 minutes or bounce around and click through the video, start for a couple minutes, go to minute number 10, go to 15 minutes, skip a bunch of shit, don't watch the ending. You can't do that, Hub City. Because every one of my videos, I could get amplified at any time. I could drop fucking nuggets of knowledge at any time, and I usually do. I'm all over the place. You gotta watch every minute, because if you watch every minute of my videos, Hub City, which clearly you do not, on my Good, the Bad, and the Ugly of Money in the Bank, at the end of that video, I spent a good 3 to 5 minutes at least talking about how that documentary gave me goosebumps and how every one of you need to watch that Hardy's 24 special on the network. And now you're asking me if I've seen it. I spent almost 5 minutes talking about it. Come on, Hub City. Watch my shit. Every minute of it. Juliana, hey BC, I've been a long time subscriber and just want to say I appreciate all the work you put into your channel with your movie going on. For Q&A, why was there a different design for the Money in the Bank briefcase the first week they were revealed? The design was completely different, and I thought that was the design they were going with, to change it up. But then they went back to the exact design that Carmella had, for example. I didn't understand. Love and respect for the Amplified Man. Much love and respect back to you, Juliana. What it was, the original idea, Juliana, was actually Vince was going with 4 Money in the Bank ladder matches. 4! Not just 3. There was a rumor that there might be 3. 2 men's, SmackDown and a Raw, and then 1 joint women's. No, the original plan was 4. A Raw and a SmackDown men's, 2 different, and a Raw and a SmackDown women's, 2 different. 4 of those motherfuckers! Apparently they thought that was way too fucking much. That went to 3, and they still felt that was too much, so they just went with 2. And they co-branded these matches. But the original concept was 4. So there was actually several designs that went out through marketing that slipped through the cracks, and then it got narrowed down to the 2, and they went with the originals. So hopefully that answers your question a little bit, because that's what I believe happened. I mean, they had multiple designs put up. Some of them actually went out through marketing. Okay, now we get to Juan. So, sorry again for whoever that other question was. Juan, BC, for Q&A, what are your thoughts on AJ Styles' championship reign so far? What would you have done differently, and how would you book it? I love AJ Styles' championship reign so far. He had that long feud with Shinsuke, and that's something we used to see back in the day. Long feuds, multi-month. Because pay-per-views back in the day, there was only 4. I'm talking about before the King of the Ring. There was Royal Rumble, there was WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. I miss seeing 2 guys fight over a couple of pay-per-views. And that's what we got to see with AJ and Shinsuke. They fought over several pay-per-views, several months. Really cool to see. Now, on top of that, I'm sorry, Rusev Day fans, he's got to beat Rusev, obviously, at Extreme Rules and keep the momentum going. I'm okay with AJ Styles being champion all the way to WrestleMania next year. And maybe drop it to Daniel fucking Bryan. Right? WWE wants him to be the longest reigning champion anyway, just like Brock just was. Him too. He wants 2 of those guys, Brock and AJ, over CM Punk's record. So if you're going to do that, I'm okay with AJ Styles. We had a long feud in there. We have some intermittent feuds, right? A little Rusev Day. Maybe we'll get another one for SummerSlam here and there. But I think it's brilliant. And again, how I would book the future, Daniel Bryan take it from him at WrestleMania 35, New York City / New Jersey, MetLife Stadium. I think that's the way to go, man. Vittorio, I hope I said that correctly. Hope you can answer this on Amplified Q&A. How would you book Sasha Banks the exact moment she turns heel? How would you make it epic for the WWE Universe? I would, this Monday, just do it finally. Once and for all. We've teased it for so long. This Monday, I would have her go to Bayley and just say, you know what? This is absolute bullshit. I apologize. One more tag match. I'm done with this. I'm going to prove to you that I'm going to be better than this. I'm going to be better to you, a better friend. This will never get between us again. I want to tag with you. Let's take out the Riot Squad. And during this match, end of this match, during this match, I want her to take out Bayley. Just annihilate her. The bell's ringing. The Riot Squad doesn't even know what to think. Like, the Riot Squad of all people end up taking off because they're like, fuck, she's taking care of our dirty work. And I want Sasha to put the beating of a lifetime on the Bayley. Something you would see like in NXT or old ECW days. I want her throwing her over the broadcast table. Now, right, like up the fucking ramp because it's Raw. So I want her up the ramp beating up Bayley. Throw her over the broadcast table, on the broadcast table. Get her in the bank statement on the broadcast table. Up on the rampway. Beat the fucking shit out of her and then get on the fucking one of the mics from the broadcast table. So talking to the people at home and saying basically to all of us at home that she is sick and tired of being some mid-card talent because she hangs around with mid-card players, meaning Bayley. And no longer is that going to happen. The boss is back and she no longer needs or wants any of us because a boss deserves to be on the highest platform, on her throne, not in the mid-card with mid-card talent. And I want her to drop that fucking mic down and I want her to put more stomps to Bayley. Maybe even another bank statement. Referees, suits and ties, all trying to pull her off. The Bayley fans are in tears at this point. That's how you really put her full throttle heel. And put her on the radar, on the map. As a legit motherfucker. Because who do you have for heels on Raw, really, guys? You got the faces. Ronda Rousey is your power player. Under that, they want Nia Jax to be the next face power player. Not a heel, face. So you have Ronda Rousey, and right under her, Nia Jax. Ember Moon, where does she fit in all of this? Ember Moon is now a third? Mickie James and Dana Brooke aren't even legit heels. I'm sorry, they 50-50 every other week. When you think of Mickie James and Dana Brooke, you're thinking they're faces. Titus Worldwide, man. They're acting like faces one week and then they're heels. No. So you're not telling me Dana and Mickie are fucking heels. I think of them as faces, to be honest. Where does Sasha fit in all of this? And on the heel side, who do you have? Alexa Bliss and the Riot Squad? The Riot Squad, come on, man. Maybe Ruby Riot is ready for some main fucking event attractions for the females. Sarah Logan's far from that. Liv Morgan's far from that, as much as we like them. Sasha, man, she would light the heel part of that roster on Raw on fire. And I just went over the roster. Why not do this Monday? Time's come, and that's how I would do it. Aaron, BC, I heard that WWE wrestlers rehearse their matches. I know WWE is pre-planned, but I thought they talked to one another inside the ring and didn't think they rehearsed it. Much love and respect. Aaron, they do everything, man. It depends on how the wrestler is and what they feel most comfortable with. And they run ideas. Behind the scenes, backstage, they run ideas to whoever they're facing. Some of them will actually rehearse, go over shit. For instance, they set up rings sometimes at convention centers. They did it for the Women's Royal Rumble. They set up a ring at the convention center or inside one of the hotels, the big convention areas inside of a hotel. They set up a ring, and the women would go over all their spots before the Royal Rumble. So they actually rehearse the shit. Sometimes they don't fucking rehearse shit, and they'll just go over shit. Like, yeah, we're going to do this, bing, bang, boom, boom, and then we're going to set up the finish in this way, bing, bang, boom. That's it. Then you had guys like Randy Savage. Stories have been told by Ricky Steamboat and many others that Randy Savage would deliver them pages of notes, move by move, of what needs to happen in the ring. Move by move. There would be like 317 moves. Number 37. Now we have to go into 45. It's time for move number 112. So everything was drawn out in Randy Savage. So they do anything. Whatever they feel most comfortable with to put on the best product in the ring. And a lot of times they just go in there and they call the shots in the ring. Sometimes it's a mixture of everything. They rehearse, they script it out, and they'll go in there and still call shots. It's a little bit of everything. It depends on how you work. Again, a lot of wrestlers are comfortable with just going over some bullet points backstage and then going into the ring and just calling it. You know, just call that shit. But then you have guys like Randy Savage that really need everything drawn out beforehand because they overthink that shit and overanalyze it abundantly. Hopefully that answers that, Aaron. That's going to do it, guys, man. I have been fucking hollering and shooting and fucking blowing up since minute number 1 of this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I think we went over an hour or around an hour long, dude. We got to see where it ends up. But much love and respect for you guys. Thank you for all the questions. I apologize I can't get to all of them. Can't wait to do it next Thursday. I will see you guys. Maybe there'll be an impromptu video tomorrow, but I'll definitely see you for Tuesday for the Monday Night Raw review reaction video. That should be interesting going into Extreme Rules in a few weeks. So yeah, much love and respect. Lots of coffee and ass whippings. The Amplified Man, he's cashing the fuck out. Much love and respect always to It's Tom. It's Tom. It's Vader time. Always. Vader was always amplified. And I will always remain such as well, man. Much love and respect to Vader. Much love and respect to all you guys. The Amplified Man's cashing the fuck out. I'm out. Check you.